8 o'clock on the East Coast, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slickster is going to do some sports. Rick Delgado is going to do the news.
Hi, Damon.
I have no idea what's wrong with him tonight. David Zier is going to do the news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Delgado gets here 5 minutes ago, and he's annoyed everybody in the building with this new voice of his that he's talking in like he's... who is this voice you're doing?
I don't know. I just feel very relaxed.
He's talked only like this since he got here. So this is what we've been dealing with for the last 5 minutes. So
contagious. It's contagious.
Welcome, David.
The Whispering Show. Slickster, what's coming up in sports tonight? Anything big going on?
Well, looks like Rory McIlroy's reconciling his big divorce there. So that's actually good news. I can get that.
Cheaper to keep her?
Amanda Balionis, big loser in this deal. Well, at least that's what the rumors are. I don't know. Maybe it's not true after all, but yeah.
Joey Chestnut's getting banned from the
Yeah.
What?
He won't go vegan.
No.
He won't go vegan.
Bad partner he picked up on, so that's what happened there. And we'll do a little rodeo, and we'll get you updated on the NBA, NHL finals.
All right, very good. Slickster's back, going to do some sports. Delgado's going to do some news. David Zier is going to do some news, the host of Breaking Point. Do you know what's coming up on Breaking Point yet this week?
I do.
Do you want to keep it a secret, or do you want to tell you? I was going to say, it doesn't sound like you want to share it with us.
This in my most relaxed voice.
No, please don't follow Delgado's lead.
Yes, David.
So, I won't be here the rest of the week. Cause for celebration.
Congratulations to the family, by the way.
Thank you. Son's getting married Saturday. Very excited. Tomorrow night, red carpet premiere, Scott Lebado's The Relentless Patriot. But I tape Breaking Point early this week just to make sure I have content for Saturday. And
you want to talk about the wedding at all?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever see The Great Gatsby?
Yes.
Just move it to 2024.
Oh, wow. So this is going to be
But I do have a kidney left. So
be a real shindig, huh? How's the bride to be?
She's wonderful. She's beautiful. Great in-laws from northern Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
The wedding's in Cape May. I have a rehearsal dinner at Congress Hall.
Northern Jersey.
Really
So you get
fabulous place.
You get along with the in-laws?
I do. All my in-laws.
Has any politics ever come up between all of you?
I have 4 sets of in-laws, and they're all Republican.
Lucky you.
All right, very good.
Yeah, very
Lucky
good.
You
guy.
lucked out.
Yes, and they're good people.
Because I'm just sitting here,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to imagine, like at the party afterwards, if the in-laws showed up with Biden 2024 shirt,
That they got from our show.
what would be happening with David Zier at that reception? I don't know.
My wife has 37 first cousins, and there's this gigantic Irish family. My family's small. Everyone's dying off. But, her family, you've got, 120 people that are all to the right. Thank God for that. They're all cops. They're all, just...
They'll have a brain. Yeah, good stuff.
They have
They
a
all follow
brain.
common sense. Okay.
They all grew up with nothing, and they appreciate life in America. It's nice to be around.
All right. Well, it was interesting to think about what would happen anyways, but I guess I'm not going to get my wish, and it sounds like everybody gets along, so that's fine.
But beautiful venue. Cape May is one of the nicest places on the East Coast. Very cool. A lot of little bungalows. Also a lot of money. It's kind of convergence. Jersey Shore. Well, kind of off the boardwalk, though. It's a little bit more like, a lot of great architecture there. They got architectural reviews. You got those scalloped houses and multicolored trim and beautiful historic value. So it should be great. I'm very excited for my son. He's just a great kid. Peyton, we love you very much.
A nice catered affair, I imagine.
A nice catered affair.
So I imagine you'll be letting them know if things aren't just
the
right
are paying
to your
for
palate.
most
David.
of it. So
I thought you were invited to the wedding, no?
No, of course not.
That's also
you
true.
were. I
That's
was gonna
true,
ask you.
too. That's a good point because, Zier is... get behind the oven. Look out.
Oh,
exactly.
So I can't.
Nobody.
Could you imagine a Biden 2024 shirt and bad food? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Just,
who ordered the veal cutlet walking around?
milk fed?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, David. You're going to have a great time, and we're happy for you and your
very
son
happy.
and
We're
his
very happy.
soon-to-be wife.
Well, maybe you'll have one of those multicolored and multi-pierced waiters or waitresses that'll call you, a
I don't know if they'll allow that. This place is like $350 a head, so I don't know.
No, I don't think so. No way.
You know.
Oh,
so they like people who actually work for a living. Okay, good.
$350 a head. I'd have a party of about 6.
Yeah. Well, it is a smaller wedding.
With 4 of them laying out 200.
My first daughter, who's 35 almost, we had 225 people, but I did that for $150 a head. It was a different story.
That's a real bargain.
Do you understand what you've just done, David?
I opened the Pandora's box and can't put it back together?
Well, basically, but for people around the country, they don't understand. A lot of them maybe have never been to a Northeast wedding. Like Northeast weddings,
That's shock.
It is an industry. Correct, Slick. It would be culture shock for people coming from the middle of the country going, how much per plate or what are you talking about? Like these things run north of 6 figures for a lot of weddings.
I've been to a lot of weddings, North Carolina, Virginia, and they're just like cocktail hours. They're not like a big deal. Here we got like everything's like those horns at the soccer game and DJs. And,
some of these weddings are catered by Quick Check. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So, but this won't be too rowdy. So
like people, there are limousines. There's 8 bridesmaids and 8 ushers, and then you got the 2 little ring bearers, and of course maybe if they have a pooch they want to throw in there with the ring, and then they've got all this other stuff going on. They get the video, the camera. It's an entire production.
I think it's definitely a Northeast and California thing.
Right.
Yeah, more.
If you had really thought this out, you could have probably done it at Woody's for about
Oh, my goodness.
Right.
$25
I'm trying to get my family to leave later so I can make Woody's.
I think they have a
but I might miss it.
special.
Could have gotten the blue plate special at Woody's.
Yeah.
All you can eat salad bar or
Telling
something.
me and my son said hello. So
yeah, I'm trying to work it out. So we'll see.
All right, very good. So I think we started this by asking you what's coming up on Breaking Point. What's coming up on Breaking Point?
Really quick, I got Captain Hung Cao. He's a Vietnamese refugee family, came here in 1975, running for the U.S. Senate. He wrote a book that Levin called a masterpiece, Call Me an American.
Who's this now?
I thought is that a place around the corner? No.
Captain.
Come on, is it Friday? Are we already going to Friday show?
I'm sorry, I got it.
Listen, this guy was he's a Navy diver. He's a Bronze Star winner. His family escaped the fall of Saigon. Wow. He went to the top high school in the country, that high school for science and technology, that was a victim of DEI. Remember last year, 2 years that they were getting sued for lowering their standards and discriminating against Asians. This guy is really sharp. He's running a primary. He's backed by Trump. But he escaped communism, and I interact a lot with the Vietnamese Americans for Trump across the country. I've spoken on their behalf, and I love them because they all are small businesses, and 400,000 boat people died fleeing Vietnam. And they settled in California and Michigan and other places, and they work hard, and they see the communistic, bureaucratic, progressive leftist policies that are killing everybody. So really great guy. And then just really quick, Dr. Ehrenfeld on. She's an expert on foreign policy. We talked about the Israeli raid, the UN, all the stuff that's going on over there. So don't miss it. It'll be a lot of fun.
Saturday morning, 8 a.m., Breaking Point, right here on Real America's Voice. Someone in the chat said Damon should be on the wall of Fame there at Woody's. I agree.
Oh, no doubt.
I don't know if they have one.
I think your phone number's on the wall in the back. No.
Yeah, Cam Neely's going to kick the door in
call
at about 2 a.m.
LFS6B.
Well, there's a lot of places I could start, but let's start with this in the New York Post. 6 suspected terrorists with ISIS ties arrested in sting operations in New York, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia. And I saw that headline, and the first thing I thought was, phew, thank God they caught him, because I'm sure those are the only 6 that we have to deal with.
Right.
So, man, we got all 6 in one shot. So, Biden with the border open for all this time. Thank God we got them all in one sting operation.
Yeah,
I'm sure those are the only 6.
Very efficient.
That we have to worry about.
Yeah.
6 Russian nationals suspected to have terror ties to ISIS. have been arrested in a coordinated sting operation spanning L.A., New York, and Philly, the Post can exclusively reveal.
That's an incredible operation.
2 ICE sources confirmed to the Post they arrested the 6 people who hail from Tajikistan, whatever.
Yeah.
Over one of those places. Over the last place I can't pronounce. That's where they come from.
Some kickstand. Yeah.
Yeah. Over the last week, after the FBI contacted the agency to warn it, 2 others,
nice cheeky stand,
who were part of the same group, were also arrested after being under surveillance by several months. Part of the investigation featured a wiretap, which revealed one of the now arrested individuals was talking about bombs. Oh, good.
A lot of terrorists coming out of Tajikistan, and it's right next to the Uyghur area of China, where they have all those Muslims enslaved by the Chinese labor camps.
Yeah. And, of course, the point of all of this is that we've caught these 6, and the other, well, you could come up with any number you probably want to think of. Let's say there's been 11, 12 million people that have come across the border, and that may be conservative. You could probably quickly come to the assumption that these are not the only 6.
Right. It only takes 1. That's what we've heard, right? It only takes 1?
It only takes 1, and we've heard the FBI director testify now at least twice that I know of, basically laying out how concerned he is for some kind of terrorist attack inside this country. And Joe Biden's new border supposed policy is a joke. It will do nothing to stop these kind of events and these kind of people who mostly are already here, but could still very easily get here if they wanted to.
Not only are they here, once they do get here, the government takes care of them. Hooks them up with from cash to plane tickets, bus tickets, lodging, food, health care if you're in California. I mean, it's a smorgasbord of great deals if you're an illegal. But if you come here legally, now you've got some problems. But no, don't worry about it. They're escaping political prosecution, sure.
Chris Wray said, our most immediate concern has been that individuals or small groups will draw twisted inspiration from the events in the Middle East to carry out attacks here in the U.S. But now increasingly concerning is the potential for a coordinated attack here on the homeland, akin to the ISIS-K attack we saw at the Russian concert hall a few weeks ago, he said.
They were Tajik, some of them, I think.
ISIS-K stands for Islamic State Khorasan, referencing a region which includes parts of Iran and Afghanistan. It's an extreme offshoot of the Islamic State militant group founded in 2014. All right, just getting started. News, sports, all coming up live from Studio 6B. If you're with us on Facebook, X, Kick, YouTube, Rumble, stay with us. We're live with you during the break. For the rest of you, we'll be back right after this, 3 minutes.
Oh, we're not live in the
now we're live in the
everyone in Facebook. My account's been hacked, so
wow. You're kidding.
Yeah, and Instagram.
He's a Bitcoin miner, though. Don't worry.
Yeah, we got a Bitcoin miner took my place.
He's gonna monetize this hack if he can.
Right.
Hopefully, when he's done, I'll have money in my account.
Yeah, good luck.
You just won't be able to access it.
I've got crack forces on it, and we're trying to address it. It's been 2 days.
You got crack? What?
The crack team at Facebook can't figure it out in 2 days.
It took me 8 months to get my Facebook account last time they did that.
Yeah.
Wow, 8 months?
8
really?
months. But somebody posted child porn on my page.
Oh, no.
I was in St. Louis covering the primaries. Oh, no. And I woke up and people calling me left and right. Dave, what the hell did you do?
Oh, my God.
What did you do?
So,
It's like I was sleeping.
I mean, did people actually think that you just posted it out there in public? Like,
well,
you just
they were
decided,
like, no, you got
today's the day.
Rav called me and they were like, you got to fix this right now. You know,
Today's the day for what?
What'd you do? You just were you able to take it down? You ever get everything down?
I reported it.
That's the first thing you got to do.
I lost control of it because they locked me out of my own account. That's what happened 2 days ago.
Really?
So I'm locked out. I can't even log in. But people can still see my Facebook page, but I can't. So
Hung Cow, huh?
that's his name,
gotta
Captain
be
Kung
kidding
Kao.
me.
Hung Cow is
Hung
playing
Cow.
live at Woody's tomorrow night, I hear.
What a nice guy, and very sharp. You know, he's been
I heard he was
special.
kind of a stiff.
He's in special operations all over the globe for many years. And yeah.
Patricia Malone says, my Facebook's been hacked from 2017. She's got porn showing up on hers, too, she said.
Ugh,
Oh, my God.
crazy.
Well, they got to, Facebook has to. I hope they would know.
Jeremy on Facebook, how you doing?
I see this crap all the time. Terrible.
Farmer Brooke, hello. to
Farmer
everybody.
Brooke.
Steve Barnett says he's sick of you guys looking at your phones.
Well, do you understand that's where we're
Steve,
getting
do you
on
understand
news,
that
dude?
that's actually where they're getting their reports from? They don't have computers. I'm not sure. Maybe you don't get,
Yeah, we don't
quite
have
get
the
it.
budget for glass, you know.
Right.
And we're also interacting with social media.
Dude.
Yeah, we interact with social media during the segments,
Wait,
and we
what?
do the news off of it. So
I mean, you can't have your cake and eat
I'm
it too.
not
you
sure
know?
what do you want them to do?
Right, we're trying to keep. I stay in the chat. Those who watch know, so that's got to be a newbie. That's.
Oh, now you're attacking
Could
the
be.
newbies? We need
Well,
the newbies.
I doubt he's watched the show for any period of time. You know, because people
Don't
know.
attack.
No
Just appreciate
teleprompters
it.
on this program.
Yeah, no teleprompters on the
No,
no teleprompters, no planning,
that's
no
why.
prep, no. All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. That's so funny. Oh, God, we're so different than everybody else. On Tuesday night,
And no
on Real
filter.
America's Voice, Slick Rick's going to do some sports. Delgado's going to do the news. I want you guys to do it all while staring at the camera. Don't look down. David Zier's going to do some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Lots to get into, as we just talked about. We have 6 suspected terrorists who have been arrested in multiple cities, and I'm sure those are the only ones we have to worry about, so everything's under control. Don't worry. Don't worry about the other 12 million people that have come across the border. I'm sure there's none left. I'm sure those are the only 6 we have to worry about. Meanwhile, the Biden administration article out today is, well, they're not really too worried. Maybe they are, but Christopher Wray seems to be worried a little bit about terrorists, but the Biden administration is not. Their new border thing is not going to close down the border, obviously. But what they are interested in is getting rid of your gas appliances. They're very interested in that. So we'll get to that a little later. Article in the Daily Caller. Who's Trump's ideal running mate? Well, there's a lot of people who have some thoughts on that. We'll get into that. The American Spectator came out with an article about who they think is Trump's ideal running mate, they title it. They say, we can only hope that Trump himself has the foresight to see the obvious reality. Who is it? I'll tell you in a little bit. But let's do some sports right now. Slickster's got that. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Great saving stuff for Father's Day, although I don't know if you'll get it at this point in time for Father's Day. Maybe you could. I don't know. Today's only Tuesday, but you probably have to order it tonight. LFS6B is the code to use at checkout. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, well, let's get you updated. I haven't been in for a couple of days, so we got NBA, Big D, with the finals. Celtics and Mavericks. Right now, the Celtics with a commanding 2-0 lead. Game 3 would be Wednesday night, tomorrow night. That's going to be a pivotal game in Dallas, American Airlines Arena. Dallas absolutely has to win that because we know, as I've reported, no NBA team in the history of the playoffs have ever come back down 3-0. So, and a must-win for Dallas. Celtics look good.
And you've been right. You said the Celtics all the way. I really thought Dallas would give them matchup problems, but they have not. They have given them no problems.
Yep. No, I know.
No problems. They don't even look like they're in the same class.
No, I mean they made a little run, Dallas, to come back, but then they just Sunday night, but then they just pulled away there at the end. And TD Garden's a tough place to win anyway. But we'll see. That American Airlines Dallas, they should be fired up tomorrow night. Another one that I'm right about is the Florida Panthers. I had them pretty much since they got through that Rangers series, which was a heck of a series. They're taking on the Edmonton Oilers. They have a 2-0 lead as well. And Game 3 shifts to Edmonton, and that'll be Thursday night. A little bit of a break for the guys, some traveling. That is the largest distance for any of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Edmonton, which would be all the way up north, right? All the way in the Pacific, almost, not quite, almost there. And then you got, of course, Florida, all the way down south there on Sunrise, Florida area. So, quite a travel. So we'll see what happens with that. But Wednesday night, tomorrow night, we'll have the NBA, and Thursday night, we'll have, obviously, the NHL. Major League Baseball, of course, we're in the thick of the season. The June swoon is upon us here for some teams. But the Reds made a good spot. They won 7 in a row, but they lost last night, and they're trailing right now 3-1.
I've been thinking of you complaining about the Reds as they have gotten so hot. And you haven't given them any credit for it.
Because I haven't really been on the show since Friday. They won 7 in a row, but most
they had one before that, too.
They're looking good. We'll see what happens, but I don't like the way they're playing with that little
Some of the viewers, quite frankly, who are Cincinnati Red fans, were a little, Slick's not giving them their due here.
Well, they're right. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'll be. Listen, I put them on the screen every night with me. Come on, Big D. And we got Braves.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just passing along the messages.
Anybody? Orioles 4-0 over the Braves, bottom of the 6th. Mid-6th, the Tigers lead the Nationals 4-3. Cubs blanking the Rays 2-0, bottom 6. Bottom 4, as I said, Guardians over the Reds 3-1 in Cincy. Hopefully they can come back there. Mets over the Marlins 2-1, end of 4. Top of the 5th, Phillies over the Red Sox 4-1. Rockies and Twins no score, end of 3. Bottom 3, Pirates and Cardinals also coming up zeros. Yankees blanking the Royals 2-0, bottom of the 1st. Yankees another hot team, let me tell you. Blue Jays and Brewers no score there, bottom of the 1st. Angels, Diamondbacks.
Aaron Judge hit a home run the other night. I don't think it still hasn't landed.
No, it still hasn't landed.
No, it still hasn't landed.
Rick Delgado had it down as a UFO going over the Bronx last night. He wanted to bring that story.
I thought it was coming to pick me up.
But he got debunked in the Bronx. Hey, listen to the story. Rick caught your attention before. Joey Chestnut dumped for 2024.
What happened?
Hot dog eating contest.
Come on.
Well, he's repping Vegan Franks. I mean, tell you.
What?
Yeah, man. He pulled the wrong one there. Warner Todd
Straight to jail, whoever made this decision. Straight to jail.
I mean, come on. National eating champion, the great Joey Chestnut, will miss the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Competition in New York. I think I'm going to boycott it this year. I really am. For the first time in more than 15 years, because he violated his agreement with the Frankfurter Company by signing up to represent a company that makes vegan hot dogs. Chestnut is the biggest name in competitive eating and has won the Nathan's event every year since 2016, the New York Grocery ordered. But doggone it, not this year. Nathan has said that they are done bending over backward for Chestnut's demands because he has finally gone too far by signing up to endorse the meatless hot dogs produced by plant-based food company Impossible Foods. And I know somewhere in there is a joke in Delgado's mind, but I'm going to continue to move on with the story. The organization Major League Eating, MLE, Major League Eating, Rick, which oversees the Nathan's event, noted that they have a number of concessions to Chestnut to ensure that he attends their event in New York, including allowing him to film a Netflix special. Maybe he should have a Netflix live special eating the hot dogs the same time as those guys, Big D. And then, you know what? See if he wins. That'd be a great stand-up. And you can eat the vegan hot dogs. See, I give these guys all these great marketing ideas. Does anybody send me a check? No. Only our fans. They send me beautiful gifts, like Kristen sent me.
I'll take you out for a beer later.
Thank you.
Or some Bitcoin. He'll get you some.
Yeah, I'm certified.
Bitcoin. He's certified now.
Anyway, you get the idea. So look for Joey Chestnut Netflix live when they do the event. We'll see what happens with that. But that'd be so funny if he did do that. I think that'd be priceless, especially if he beat them, and he probably would beat them good. So I don't know about you, but I'm not happy with Nathan's right now. I think that was a bad move on their part. I'm gonna go on the record as saying that.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's a wrap in sports. I'll have that Rory McIlroy story in my next sports segment, Big D.
Okay, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. We'll do some more sports with Slick here coming up. So there are some races going on tonight. And, of course, South Carolina is one of them. And I see that Nancy Mace seems to be out to a very big early lead. And if you're from South Carolina and you're in the chat, could you just explain to me what it is about Nancy Mace that people want to vote for? Someone explain it to me, other than the horrendous Trump endorsement that she got. Not horrendous for her, probably. It's great for her, but it's a terrible endorsement, as most of them have been. But what is it about Nancy Mace? She has a D- voting record on policy when it comes to policy. Like, this is what I don't understand.
But her district is not, it's bluish purple. So, that has helped her a little bit. She claims to have been with Trump since 2015. but she has an independent, voice out there, right? People don't always agree with her on the right, but Charleston is a liberal area, so maybe that's why.
Is that where she represents?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
she
first
represents
district.
the first district, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's it.
It went for Biden by 10 points.
I mean,
Charleston,
I just don't.
Where the rest of South Carolina didn't, except for 2 other counties. That's mostly Republican counties, right? Just trying to.
I mean,
give some explanation.
maybe that's the explanation, because I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, are we interested in policy, like end results, like things that matter to us, or are we just interested in her talks about? I don't know. Isn't she the one who went to the prayer breakfast and talked about morning sex with her boyfriend at the time or something?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what she did.
Yeah,
got my vote. Not what? I think she's easy on the eyes, right? Let me look her up.
Well, see,
Nice.
Exactly. This
I'm
is
sure
why,
you've
this
seen
is
her
why
before.
Delgado's answering my question on what the important things are, and that's
All
what
right.
they're voting.
no teleprompters.
Stop looking at your phones and your computers.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're back
What? Did
right after this.
I say that out loud?
Kevin Downey was at the event tonight.
Harry pointed him out to me. He was talking to somebody I didn't recognize.
They don't invite us to that. They're embarrassed of us.
Well, the race in South Carolina that I want to watch is in 4th.
She's the projected winner.
The 4th district.
Yeah.
See if we can actually get a conservative in there in Morgan and get rid of Timmons. Lame-o.
Yep. Yeah, Morgan's ahead.
Morgan's ahead?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Only 16% in, but he's ahead by 3.5. Oh, he just expanded his lead by 3.8.
How many reporting?
25%. They may call that soon.
Why are you not talking about the Russian ships and a submarine in our waters close to the Florida coast?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I did hear about that.
Why are we not talking about it?
Yeah, I talked about it last week. The Russian fleet's coming over here.
Okay, so we did talk about it last
Venezuela.
week.
Well, there's an update on it today.
Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a
But it's
mass
not.
shooting?
You know what? It's one of those things where, oh my goodness, it's not like they haven't been monitored since they left port.
No, and they've been there before.
Yeah, this is just the news trying to hype things.
Well, they're
up.
just flexing their muscle,
Right.
hitting Venezuela and the friendly countries to them, and because they're getting destroyed in the Black Sea. It's not pretty over there for the Russian Navy.
No, I'm sure it's not.
Nancy Mace.
She's getting congratulations tonight too. Matt Gaetz congratulates Nancy Mace. It's just like they get whiplash in this party sometimes.
Well, I mean,
Who's conservative and
that's
who's
politics,
actually not?
right? You gotta
Who cares about outcomes and who cares just about TV?
you gotta take what you can get, and then try and make something of it.
She was out there for Trump in force, so I guess that's the payback.
She was running against somebody that McCarthy was backing, I guess. Is that the
Yeah,
news?
well, Chief of Staff, I think, was also involved.
Okay, well then, he wouldn't have been any better probably.
Bless you. Oh my goodness, Slick. Slick. Bless you.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Look at Levin's show on Sunday pulling 1.46 million people.
On a Sunday?
That's just crazy.
That's more than CNN does in like prime time. Right?
Bartiromo pulls 1.41. He pulls 1.46. Levin Sunday Show pulling 1.46 million people on a Sunday. Maria Bartiromo pulls 1.41 on a Sunday. Fox and Friends pulls 1.38 on a Sunday. Go all the way down the list. Fareed Zakaria on CNN pulls like 11 people. I mean, it's just the numbers. It just Levin show is just crazy. He doesn't get nearly the. I mean, what he's doing on weekends in those time slots is just unheard of.
Yeah,
unheard of.
He was great today.
TV. Live from Studio 6B, 30 minutes past the hour. Let's do some news and hear what the news. Sponsored by 7Cells, 7cells.com. 10% off whatever you put in your cart by using promo code LFS6B at checkout. Is Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, I think the big news is the carryover from yesterday. We'll get to the Hunter Biden thing. I mean, found guilty in all 3 counts in the federal gun trial. Says he's disappointed. If he even remembers, who knows? We'll get to that story a little bit later. But I think this one is the one that has really gotten people's attention. And so much so, Just the News, John Solomon's site, justthenews.com, is running a poll. You vote. Are you surprised by the Nancy Pelosi January 6th footage? So you can vote in that poll on the website. It says here, House Republican investigators recently released. See, now that answers the question, because we were wondering yesterday, who released this? Because it wasn't part of the documentary that her daughter put out. This is footage that didn't make the documentary, which is why we're finding it now.
Yeah.
Turns out it's coming from the House Republican investigators as they released the footage filmed by then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's daughter, which shows Pelosi saying, "I take responsibility for security failures at the Capitol." Now, of course, we saw yesterday, we played the clip. We played this clip of her saying that. Then we played her jumping on MSNBC as quickly as she could to try and control this thing. MSNBC was out again this morning with Mika. Mm-hmm. She was out. And this
crying
is her,
over it?
Yes, she was in, they are in complete spin mode over this footage getting out. And this is cut number 1. It's a bit long. We don't have to go through the whole thing. But check out the gymnastics that MSNBC and Mika go through to try and make this go away and make it seem like, oh, we always knew this kind of stuff was happening. Here's cut number 1. Check this out.
As for what actually happened on January 6th, unaired footage we just obtained from congressional sources shows top Democratic lawmakers questioning the whereabouts of the National Guard during the January 6th Capitol attack. As the Capitol was being overrun, then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi grilled her chief of staff about the situation as they were evacuated for their safety. Take a look.
You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural.
Now, what's great is that they're playing the footage. So they're acknowledging it yet again.
Police? I mean, the National Guard. Why weren't the National Guard there to be?
The footage also shows Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer at Fort McNair speaking on the phone with then Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy and later Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser about the status of their request for help from the National Guard.
Now watch this, because this is some terrible acting.
Senator Schumer, we're at Fort McNair. Do you know what's going on there? Okay, well, D.C. has requested the National Guard, and it's been denied by DOD. I'd like to know a good goddamn reason why it's been denied. Yes. We need them fast. We've all had to, I've never seen anything like this. We're like a third world country here. We had to run and evacuate the Capitol.
Very relaxed, legs closed.
I spoke to the Secretary of the Army. He's given a full okay to give the National Guard. He said it was not denied. I'm going to call up the effing Secretary of DOD.
Ooh.
Yes, very upset.
Schmucky getting upset.
Yes.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
What was the
Look at this overacting.
This is how they do business, laying on a couch.
For the National Guard to move in.
Okay, if I could, Madam Speaker, let me just give you a rundown. Your chief, the United States Capitol Police, sent a request for National Guard for probably more than an hour ago. I thought there was some resistance from the Secretary of the Army folks to deploy.
See, now they're mentioning people we haven't talked about before.
No, we have talked about him. That's Stephen's son she's talking about.
Than 3 hours.
No, stop that. Stop that clip right now. What that person just said to Nancy Pelosi is the chief of the Capitol Police requested the National Guard an hour ago. That's Stephen's son.
Right, but she said the Secretary of the Army. And that's someone we hadn't heard mentioned.
Roll that back.
Yeah.
Roll that back to the message on the phone. Go back.
Yeah,
right about there.
Of your request or our request as well for the National Guard to move in.
Okay, if I could, Madam Speaker, let me just give you a rundown. Your chief, the United States Capitol Police, sent a request for National Guard support probably more than an hour ago.
So that's Stephen's son. Now, Stephen's
Police,
son
right.
tweeted today, the chief of the Capitol Police. He tweeted today, and I think I actually shared it on our X. He said Nancy Pelosi was surprised that the let me just put it up. Aaron, if you could throw that up. Pelosi was surprised we didn't have National Guard on January 6th. I was denied National Guard support multiple times before January 6th and repeatedly for 71 minutes on January 6th. My story hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also posted on his Twitter back then the letter that was sent from the mayor who's on the phone right now, Muriel Bowser, denying any additional support from outside forces such as the National Guard or any other law enforcement help.
Yeah, so honestly, Mika playing that clip to me just confirms. As you heard, who's that on the phone? That's Muriel Bowser,
That's
supposedly?
Muriel Bowser, yeah.
Giving her the update?
Yep.
Basically confirming what Stephen's son said, that they got a request for the National Guard. She said an hour ago. He said for 71 minutes, so that's pretty close.
Yeah.
That's pretty close. All right, can we go back to that now? And let's hear the rest of it.
The United States Capitol Police sent a request for National Guard support probably more than an hour ago. I thought there was some resistance from the Secretary of the Army folks to deploy uniformed guard personnel on the grounds of the Capitol.
It took more than 3 hours. 3 hours for the National Guard to arrive to that chaotic scene, to that riot, to the attack on the Capitol. According to Politico, 4 former members of the Guard described a frustrating experience of being prevented for hours from being able to respond, and recounted senior Army officials expressing concern about the optics of deploying the Guard. But they saved their fiercest criticism for McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy, who they described as,
by the way, watch.
I'm sorry, for the Army, a totally different McCarthy. I apologize. The person that they were trying to reach there on the phone, who they described as unresponsive to their outreach in the midst of the chaos. Republicans have spent years accusing Pelosi of neglecting her duty to defend the Capitol.
And you just confirmed it.
Yeah,
that
she
it was
admitted
a
it.
shared responsibility among congressional leaders who in turn relied on the assessments of police and security officials. But as Politico reports, the new footage does not bolster GOP claims of Pelosi being at fault. Instead,
it does.
It largely aligns with and adds
Okay, stop
depth
it. We
to
don't listen to Mika drone on.
Right.
She doesn't even idea what she's even reading.
No.
And whoever
Doesn't
set
know what
this
she's talking
segment up doesn't even go over it with her. She absolutely confirmed exactly what the GOP is saying and exactly what Stephen's son is saying.
Yeah.
It's right there on tape. We just heard it. Stephen's son requested the National Guard an hour ago before she even had that phone call, and then another 2 hours went by before the National Guard even showed up. That is solely on Pelosi. That is solely on Pelosi. She's in charge of protecting the Capitol.
Yeah.
The President of the United States offered up 10,000 National Guard troops. I don't care what she says. We've seen it in sworn testimony that it's true. We've heard from multiple people that it's true. The President himself has said in multiple interviews he offered them up days before. They did not want the National Guard there. In the end, right there, they said because they were worried about the optics.
Right.
Stephen's son has said, my guys were not even roped into what was going on. They weren't even they didn't have the right equipment for what we thought could possibly be that day. We were totally out of the loop. I was requesting meetings and going, why am I not getting this information and getting it way late or getting it different times than other people? We've heard from the chief of police, the Capitol Police. John Solomon has done excellent interviews with him. He has written about this over and over again. And as he said in that tweet, his story has not changed. Has not changed. So I don't know what Mika thinks that this story is doing, but all it's doing in my eyes is confirming what we already know. What we already know. And that's that the majority of this lays at the feet of Nancy Pelosi for what we saw that day.
Yeah. And then we've got Clay Higgins, also one of your favorites, talking about January 6th. Check out this. This is cut number 2.
It was a setup.
I mean, if you clearly have men dressed as Trump supporters walking around inside the Capitol
and
on the other side of police officers who are, to one extent or another, not engaged with them, like they're not concerned about them. Then you have a set of closed doors, like exterior doors and interior doors closed, and you have police officers positioned outside and then in between the two doors, and then on the inside of the second set of doors. Doors weren't open yet.
What
so if
time
you have
was
video, this was a couple of the videos that like Trump was still speaking. Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th
100%.
prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? Exactly. We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Gentleman's time has expired.
You should not read anything into my decision not to share information.
Director Ray,
confidentially.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Director Ray,
we
I'm
have
trying to
other
save you,
evidence,
Bernie
specific
says.
observations of police officers, Capitol Police, or Metro, or both, entering rooms and here in the Capitol in uniform and coming out as Trump supporters and construction workers.
Yeah.
This is the stuff you didn't get to see.
We have all kinds of testimony from people that there were tons of Trump clothing underneath the Capitol as well on the tram, because they took the tram to the parking garage because they were guests of the Capitol after they got out of their clothes.
So as you can see,
paid guests.
Spin mode is not really working too well, and I think there's going to be more and more. I think this story is going to start picking up even more speed.
When did Clay make that last statement?
I think it was
that from the original?
A year or so ago?
Yeah,
it wasn't like in the last couple of days.
All right, more news with Delgado and Zier coming up. Noble County, Ohio, fully reporting tonight, and this Ruley Republican wins by 28 points over Kirkpatrick. This is a county that Trump won by 63 in 2020. The guy that tonight the Republican only won it by 28. As a whole, Ohio 6 is Trump plus 29. I'm starting to think Ohio 6 is going to be a lot closer than people think. It's probably not a great sign.
Yeah.
Mace has been declared the winner.
That's a special, that district in Ohio. See.
Boy, that story that Solomon and you talked about broke on the show last night got a lot of attention, boy.
Yeah.
Tucker's interview was about that.
Was it?
Yeah. He interviewed Tristan Levitt, who's been working with John in that story, I guess.
I was trying to get Tristan on.
Yeah, Tucker had him on last night.
No, it wasn't. I don't even know who Tristan Levitt is.
Come on.
Writes at the Federalist, and I guess he was working with John.
I should have texted him back, I guess.
Yeah, they were destroying people's lives who wanted to be whistleblowers. And then they wanted to bring up that board that you had to go in front of a whistleblower board in order for them to allow you to go to Congress.
Right.
But I don't think that ever passed. Solomon told me it didn't. They were like pulling people's pensions and stuff.
Am I sending you sound, Fran? Okay. So last night in the show, we were watching all of the events going on at the White House for Biden's Juneteenth celebration.
Oh, it was a good time.
And of course, Biden looked like, he was having a rough night, just staying awake. Well, they made him give a speech afterwards.
Oh, no.
Did you guys know that?
Oh, yeah.
No, my God.
It's good stuff.
It's got to be good.
This is probably the highlight of the speech, just to give you an idea.
She knows so long as she was denied, her freedom can never be secured.
Right.
Okay, one more time.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, just listen up, Slick. I want you to. This is important stuff. Remember this thought.
She knows so long as she was denied, her freedom can never be secured.
Okay, got it?
You notice the sign language person bowed out during that part of the speech?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would possess them to think that we could let him make a speech after all of that to wrap up the night? Let's let him talk. Like, who thinks that's a good idea?
It's already past his bedtime.
He sounds bombed.
Right? And when you see more of that speech, like I think we have like a 30 or 40 second clip.
Do we?
You see how difficult it is for him to even be standing there reading from it. It's just an insane thing to see. What cut is it?
Let me give you one more before we get to your cut. Right. I just want you guys to know this too.
These black soldiers were a link in a distinguished line of patriots, enslaved and free, who risked their lives in every war since the founding of our ideals, and we don't know fully what American soil is.
Okay.
American soil?
We don't know what American soil is. So
well, not fully. We don't fully know what it is.
Yeah.
Not fully. I think Martha Stewart knows what American soil is.
Yeah.
She does have soil commercials. Yeah.
So what was the cut?
This is more of Joe
10.
Biden.
Come on.
As he gets up to and slurs through that part of the Juneteenth speech. This is cut 10.
Folks, that's what Juneteenth is all about. That's why I awarded the Medal of Freedom to Miss Oprah Lee as well, the grandmother of Juneteenth.
I guess people understand this language?
She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured. Her decades-long march brought her here to the White House.
It was a long walk.
She stood by my side as I signed the Juneteenth federal holiday and handed her the signing pen for helping make Juneteenth possible.
Whatever.
He's an amazing orator.
Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. My Pillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Slickster, should be easy to follow that. What's going on?
Oh, 4 scores and 7 years of corn ago. Yeah, here we go. Rory McIlroy calls off divorce from wife Erica Stoll a month after announcing split. This would be page 6, Big D. Bernie Zilio. Rory McIlroy and Erica Stoll are back on. The golf superstar who filed to divorce his wife of 7 years just last month called off the split Tuesday. Page 6 can confirm that McIlroy's attorney submitted a notice of voluntary dismissal in Palm Beach County, Florida, where the couple lives. So that's good news. But the case is now closed without prejudice, which means the Northern Irishman will have to start from scratch if he decides he does want a divorce. The Daily Mail was the first to report the news. McIlroy, 35, initially requested to dissolve the union on May 13th, but he says he and his spouse, with whom he shares one child, have since worked through their issues. There may have been rumors about my personal life recently, which is unfortunate. Responding to each rumor is a fool's game, the athlete told The Guardian in a statement on Tuesday. So over the past few weeks, Erica and I have realized that our best future was a family together. Thankfully, we have resolved our differences and look forward to a new beginning. While McIlroy was in Kentucky preparing for the PGA Championship, Stoll, 36, was served with divorce papers at their marital home in Jupiter. The summons gave her 20 days to file a counterclaim or risk having the court granted the divorce by default. Stoll failed to file a response or even register an attorney by the June 2nd deadline. McIlroy's petition was requested joint custody of their 3-year-old daughter, Poppy, and asked for a judge to enforce a prenuptial. But anyway, it's all fait accompli because they decided to reconcile their differences, which I always like to hear that. Hopefully they'll get on the right track, Big D. You know, sometimes marriage, it could be par for the course. You have these isures and you work through them. This is what happens. So that's a really good story.
In the golf life of marriage, there's some birdies and there's some, triple bogeys.
No question about it. We were just talking about the Celtics, and now Kristaps Porzingis has a rare leg injury, questionable for Game 3. Might be a little window of opportunity for Dallas. Tim Bontemps of ESPN, Celtics star Kristaps Porzingis suffered what the team called a rare injury to his left leg and is officially listed as questionable for Game 3 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night. The Celtics announced Tuesday that Porzingis has a torn medial retinaculum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg. The team said Porzingis' status for the upcoming finals game will be determined day to day. I saw him take a big fall Sunday night, so that may have played into it a little bit as well.
Could be a big difference.
Oh, without a question. No question about it, especially for the big man there. We're going down the middle there, so we'll see, Luka. But we'll keep you updated on that tomorrow night on the show, Big D, and that's what I have in sports for tonight right so far.
All right, Slick, very good. Let's do some news with the host of Breaking Point, and that, of course, is David Zier. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
Well, Biden didn't mention at his speech on gun safety that his son his girlfriend threw the gun in the dumpster near a school. And we have cut number 8 where Biden says he was a college professor and all kinds of goodies. Cut number 8, Biden speaks about gun safety.
Are so damn important. We need you. We need you to overcome the unrelenting opposition of the gun lobby, gun manufacturers, so many politicians when they oppose common sense gun legislation. I used to be when I was no longer the vice president, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Before that, I taught a constitutional law class, and so I taught the Second Amendment. There's never been a time that says you can own anything you want.
Yes, there has.
You couldn't own a cannon during the Civil War. No, I'm serious. Think about it. How many times have you heard this phrase? The blood of liberty.
Nice try.
Give me a break. No, I mean it. Seriously.
Talk about butchering it again.
And by the way, if they want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, guess what? They need F-15s. They don't need.
Yeah.
So it's the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots,
yes,
right?
It is. Nice try.
And if you
stick with the thing.
And as you heard there, he's talking about if you're thinking about taking on the government because we're getting out of line,
we got
you're going to need
F-15 Eagles, dual role strike Eagles. Level your house. Cut number 7, Vivek had pretty good comments today on the Hunter conviction. Cut 7.
So Hunter Biden was convicted. Big freaking deal. This trial was a sham. Just like the Trump trial, it was a sham, but a sham for a different reason. It's a sham designed to legitimize the Trump conviction. That's why it came right after, even for charges that date way far back. but it also avoids accountability for the Biden crime family on the actual things that Hunter Biden should have been charged for. Like, for example, peddling foreign influence while his actual father, Joe Biden, was the vice president of the United States. Hunter had no business serving on the board of a Ukrainian energy company, a state-affiliated energy company that's affiliated with the same country, Ukraine, that his father, now as the U.S. president, is sending hundreds of billions of dollars of your taxpayer money to. That's where the real crimes lie. So this deflects accountability for the actual investigations that are more close to implicating Joe Biden, while coming in convenient timing right after the sham Trump conviction in the veil of bipartisanship. Don't buy it. I said this before, I'll say it again. This is a smoke screen, and the reality is you got to cut through it to get to the essence of what's happening in this country.
Yeah, pretty good. But I'll have more for you guys after the break.
I mean, I get what everybody's saying, but for Republicans out there today to be saying like, no, he shouldn't have been charged. Like, really? We don't charge people for breaking federal law anymore? Like, I don't really get that argument. Like, I get the argument that there's other things here that he's not being charged with dealing with the dad, but to say that what a jury found him in Delaware, mostly African-American jury, found him guilty on all 3 counts.
Yeah.
To say that, this was a waste of everybody's time. We shouldn't be charging people who illegally sign off that they're not a drug user and get a weapon. And I mean, what are we talking about?
Real laws that are broken. I got him on all keys.
Yeah.
I mean, do you get that argument?
No.
Thomas Massey today is like, oh, he should be charged, but it shouldn't have been. Really? We can lie on federal forms now and we shouldn't be charged? What?
I mean, that
what is this argument they're making today?
Unless they're making the argument, yeah, we don't mind the gun charge, but what about all the
real stuff?
The real stuff, like
stuff.
the drugs, the possible underage sex acts,
selling secrets to China.
Yeah, the FARA violations. You know, the big stuff. I understand. Okay, you got the small one, but what about the real big stuff?
No, I get what they mean when they say that, but so they shouldn't have brought this?
No, I'm just saying they should be saying, let's now focus on the big stuff. If they're not talking about the big stuff, then you know, what the hell are you saying anything for?
It's just the timing of the case, I think, is suspicious, right?
Quite frankly, the fact that he was found guilty on all 3 by that jury, I mean, at least
I was surprised it came back so fast.
I mean, people at this point want to know if there's any hope in the justice system left at all. I mean, today at least gives you some. I mean, maybe
we'll see what happens.
There's something left.
We'll see what happens at sentencing. I think that's the.
Well, that's true too.
That's probably the part right there.
Damon, why does it appear you only shaved the right side of your face? I have no idea, because that's not true.
Oh wow!
But
you know what? They might be right.
Oh, get out of here!
Like
it looks like a little heavier on the left. Yeah,
it does. Looks a little heavier on the left.
Well, the right is usually the sharper of the two. Right?
Let me see.
You're kind of a lefty.
It's not bad. Yeah.
He's a leftist. What the hell was that?
El DeBarge.
Excuse you, David.
It was
Jeez Louise.
It was on my stubble. Hold on, see if we're going to do it again.
Yeah, nice try.
Right? The replica theory. You ever see that video on the internet where the guy tries to replicate him passing gas and he can't? The guy farts on a plane and he's like trying to come up with ways to recreate the sound and he can't do it.
Except he farts.
But he really did. He was trying to cover it up.
I think it was the up and down, not the...
Yeah, maybe this one.
No, don't do that.
Every sound you make is torture in my ears.
Including when
Sorry, Brad.
Well, that now that sounded like a good Saturday night right there.
Get some WD-40 over here.
Holy magdiddly.
220 weight ball bearings like in
What's Scotty Scheffler's odds to win the U.S. Open this week?
Everything is ball bearings.
Do we know?
Oh, I don't know. It's got to be very good.
I mean, that's like free money, right?
What has he won? Like
Hi, live from Studio 6B, Hour 2, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some more sports. Delgado's got news coming up. David Zier's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Harry on the highway, I think, is going to be in the building in this hour as well. Harry and I and David Zier actually went to a little event tonight.
Oh, you did?
It was very nice.
Did you get invited, Slick?
No.
No, me either.
Country 96.1.
They don't bring me out.
What's John Caracciolo's annual thing? I go every year at Bald Hill just for his hosts and just a networking
I saw him
thing.
this morning.
It's all the same people that you guys network with.
Yeah, good for you.
I saw John this morning. No invite.
Well, I didn't know about it until Harry told me about it, so blame Harry. So
no,
yeah,
that's all right.
Oh, thanks, Harry.
Yeah, so you can blame Harry when he gets here. Harry on the highway coming in. Lots to get to in hour 2. Do some more sports, obviously, and news. Mr. Zier, were you done with news? I feel like we kind of
I got more for you later.
Okay, very good. We'll do some news with Rick Delgado here coming up. So the American Spectator has a piece. Trump's ideal running mate. Let's only hope that Trump himself has the foresight to see the blinding, obvious reality. And who does the American Spectator, David Catrone, think is the ideal running mate for Donald Trump? None other than Tim Scott. Speaking of South Carolina.
Tim Scott.
The conventional wisdom concerning vice presidential picks is that they don't really matter because voters focus on the top of the ticket in presidential elections. This is ordinarily true, they say, but 2024 is no ordinary election year. This time, the winner will be the oldest president ever inaugurated, so it's eminently possible that his vice president will be called on to finish the term. We know what that means if Biden wins, so Trump's running mate will receive more than the usual amount of voter scrutiny. Thus, he can't afford to choose another white male or any Florida resident, they say. This eliminates all but one of the 4 choices towards whom he is reportedly leaning. According to an NBC report, Trump has narrowed his search to 4 prospects. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, Tim Scott of South Carolina, and J.D. Vance of Ohio. If the report is accurate, the first name that should be crossed off the list is Burgum. The last thing Trump needs is a running mate is an aging white guy from a state he won by 33 points in 2020. Well, if I was writing this article, I would agree that he should be the first name off the list, but not because he's a white guy from a state that Trump won 33 points. It's because he sucks policy-wise, and he's been at war with conservatives since he took that governorship. And he's not at all aligned policy-wise with what you would hope Trump would want to do in a second term. The next name that must be scratched off is Rubio. The 12th Amendment precludes electors from voting for a president and vice president who reside in the same state. I don't know that that's really going to be an issue if he wanted to go with someone from Florida, but okay. The third name that should be removed is J.D. Vance. He's a great senator, but would add nothing new to the ticket but a history of trashing Trump, which he did early on, that would be exploited by the corporate media. Which brings us to Senator Tim Scott, who is encumbered by few, if any, liabilities, and has much to offer Trump's ticket and the country. He has a compelling life story, having grown up in a poor single-parent household in South Carolina. He nonetheless believed the escape route from poverty was hard work and education. In 2010, he proved it by becoming the first black Republican from South Carolina, elected to the House of Representatives since 1897. In 2012, he was appointed to a vacant seat in the U.S. Senate and subsequently won the special election in order to finish out the term. In 2016 and 22, he was reelected with more than 60% of the vote. He's a solid conservative who ferociously repudiates identity politics. He's about as PC as anybody that you'll find, and he is one that thinks that Ukraine is going to give the money back. So that would be my first 2 things, my first 2 big things that I would say. Does Trump really need a politically correct vice president like Tim Scott would be, and someone who is all in on Ukraine and all in on, oh yeah, they'll They'll give the money back. Don't you worry. Amongst many other things that we could go back over his voting record on. So to say that the only thing, that he's not encumbered by anything and that he's a solid conservative, I'm not sure what the baseline for solid conservatives are this year, but I'm not really sure that he fits the bill. I think he's maybe a solid globalist, but I'm not sure about solid conservative.
And they talk in that article about his childhood, right? Being raised in a single-parent household and making it and coming out of the black community, I think, right? Do they do? I thought I read that.
I'm not sure. We'll find out here. The author says, nor does Scott pull punches when pointing out President Biden's myriad economic blunders. As the ranking member of the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, he recently delivered a withering indictment of Bidenomics. In addition to being a serious conservative and vocal critic of the Biden administration, Scott's prowess as a fundraiser will not have been lost on Trump. According to a report in the New York Times, he's going to host a major event on June 19th that will include a number of billionaire donors, including Pershing Square Capital Management's Bill Ackman. Well, he already had his own thing in his own house already. Crown Quest, Tim Dunn, Citadel's Ken Griffin, and Apollo's Mark Rowan. If Scott succeeds in convincing these people and other deep-pocketed donors to support Trump, which he probably will, his value to the former president's campaign will increase exponentially. And his all-important fundraising skills by no means exhaust the value Scott would bring to the Trump ticket. As the AP reports, he has launched a $14 million outreach effort to minority voters. Tim Scott's push comes as Trump campaign is ramping up its own outreach efforts to Hispanic and black voters, especially black men, in his expected rematch against President Biden. The polls have consistently shown that non-white working-class voters are deeply dissatisfied with Biden's job performance, particularly on the economy. As Tim Scott himself puts it, much to the chagrin of many folks, there's no doubt that African-American men are wide open for political shift to partisanship. And he knows how to drive home that message that Biden is bad for all voters. Tim Scott is not too nice of a guy to play a tack dog role as the vice presidential candidate traditionally plays in tight elections. He'd be far better in this role than Mike Pence ever was and would also do a better job in the VP debate with Kamala Harris. His candidacy would be historic and kill any serious claim that Trump is a racist. He has a compelling life story, and at 58, he's young enough to be a vigorous chief executive, if required by unforeseen circumstances, to move into the Oval Office. He has more experience in Washington than most of his rivals for the VP nomination, yet retains a positive vision of the United States, reminiscent of the optimism that Ronald Reagan always exuded. In the end, Tim Scott is clearly the perfect running mate for Trump in 2024. We can only hope that Trump himself has the foresight to see the obvious reality. And I'm interested what people think about that. I am not on board at all. At all. And that's not recognizing that Tim Scott has got a great story and probably brings some things that are in that article that I probably agree with. But, man, given the situation we're in, given the situation this country's in, given what Donald Trump needs to be in a wingman, I just don't see it in Tim Scott. I just don't, for many reasons. We could go back specifically through some of the policy things, but just the overall. Again, a guy who thinks Ukraine's going to give the money back, a guy who's just so politically correct on everything, I'm just not sure that's Donald Trump's running man here in this deal, what we're up against.
Yeah,
and we need 12 years. Let's make no mistake about it. I know everybody thinks, and Trump says he's going to turn everything around quickly. Great. Hope that's true. Most likely, what's happened to this country in the last 4 years, you are going to need more than 4 years, if not 8, if not 12. So whoever he picks for VP is obviously immediately the leading candidate for the next election.
I agree with you, but 2 points, just quick. You know, he created the Opportunity Zones. He authored that, and he also did the First Step Act, which helped a lot of people.
Well, it depends if you're a fan of the First Step Act.
Right.
There's a lot of conservatives that are not.
Black community.
I would say he's a solid Republican. I don't know about if solid conservative would be the right right label to hang on him, but I agree. I think he's just too nice a guy. Comes off a little, just too willing to, go along to get along.
Yeah, too agreeable.
Right. And again, you're talking about what happened after the Trump's first 4 years. He put a bunch of policies into place. The next guy comes in and he undoes all that stuff, and we are where we are. So right, you're talking about a longer time. You're talking about somebody to hand the baton off to that you can trust to carry this forward, because that's what people want.
Who can win?
Right, who can win, but also who will not all of a sudden be like, well, we were talking and I thought, it might be nice to give up something. No. The foot has to be on the crux of the neck and hold it there and keep these liberals down where they belong. It's as simple as that. Because far too long, the Republicans have been, let's just get along to go along. They'll give us stuff, we'll give them stuff, and they get rolled each and every time. And who suffers for it? Not them. They still get paid. They give themselves bonuses. They take their payoffs. They take their book deals, line their pockets, and we get screwed with the bill. Simple as that.
He's not my pick, but they're looking at the demographics. It's probably.
Give me a Byron Donalds, give me a Rand Paul, or give me a Devin Nunes. Those are my three.
Dave Rubin from the Rubin Report put out a tweet that caught my attention. Not because I agree totally with everything, but it was kind of interesting. There was a lot of them, and I was like, He said, January 2025, imagine this. Donald Trump, president. Tulsi Gabbard, vice president. Byron Donalds, Speaker of the House. Josh Hawley, Senate Majority Leader. Vivek Ramaswamy, Press Secretary. David Sachs, Chief of Staff. RFK Jr., Director of the CIA. Tom Cotton, Director of the FBI. Ron DeSantis, Attorney General. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Chris Rufo, Secretary of Education. Ted Cruz, Secretary of Homeland Security. Mike Pompeo, Secretary of Defense. Dr. Peter McCullough, Director of the NIH. Dr. Drew Pinsky, Director of the FDA. I guess it's pronounced Bjorn Lomborg, Secretary of Energy. Peter Thiel, Secretary of Science and Technology. The Rock, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Peter Schiff, Chair of Economic Advisors. Rand Paul, Chair of the Federal Reserve. Joe Biden at Shady Pines Retirement Home.
Hey, what about one of your favorites? Definitely Mike Lee.
I like Mike Lee a lot.
Yeah. Attorney General?
That's a solid conservative.
Steve Bannon, Chief of Staff.
Put Mike Lee on the Supreme Court if there's an opening. How about that?
There you go.
So, I mean, some of those are pretty interesting.
I don't know about Tulsi.
Well, no, I don't either. But
who's going to head up the CIA?
Well, he's got RFK Jr.
Did he say CIA or FBI?
CIA.
Oh, CIA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Cotton.
FBI, Tom Cotton.
Cotton wasn't so friendly to the J6ers and was very harsh. So I don't know about that.
All right, live from Studio 6B, we're back with some news, sports, all coming up.
Emailed Damon and you, Rick. Rick Ammirati, I didn't have your email handy.
Don't worry.
It's about this guy who makes a sound on a plane, and everyone thinks he farted, and he keeps trying to recreate it, and it's only a minute long. It's very funny.
You're still trying to push that to take.
Zier, do you want to be Commerce Secretary or Press Secretary?
I want to be the White House chef. But I won't go swimming on my paddleboard.
You cook for Obama.
Yeah, I know.
Very nice.
Oh my God!
How about Sarah Huckabee Sanders? No, we need her to be the governor. We need the good governors to remain good governors.
Yeah,
they're more important to the people.
Very good point.
What about DeSantis? He's not available. But he's not available to be governor again. He's got 2 years left.
2 years.
So he could make his way into the administration at some point.
He'd be dynamic as a cabinet head.
I mean, he's only the most successful conservative when it comes to policy we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
but
as
again,
long as he
I don't
doesn't,
know if that interests people anymore.
as long as he doesn't turn into the same mechanical candidate he turned into when he decided to run for president, as opposed to what it.
Yeah, I don't really give two craps about how he turns into or what he wears on his feet. Just keep getting shit done. Keep pushing back and getting wins. I really don't care what you dress like, what you look like, what you wear, how you talk, how you walk. Don't really care.
Definitely, he's not that people person like Trump, but he's a great
See, the thing
executive, administrator.
In Florida, he was.
Yeah.
When he got on the national stage, he changed.
No, he couldn't.
He tried to be nationalist. Like, just be you, dude.
And I was on the campaign trail in Iowa and other states, and people came up to me, including one of the top journalists in the world I shared the story for, told me they did not like the way they were treated by the DeSantis people.
Ooh.
So,
People
I don't know how great the campaign was.
People in the Rumble chat, everybody's mentioning Zeldin. What about Zeldin? What about Zeldin?
I like Zeldin.
No, Zeldin's great. I sat on his business advisory board.
He was Trump's impeachment attorney, and he didn't shy away from MAGA in the governor's race.
Lee is great. I think he's clean as a whistle as well. So you know what?
He could have caved and said, I don't like Donald Trump. He probably would have got another 3 points in New York, but he didn't cave on it.
He hung in there for him. He did. You're right. He could have probably picked up some votes in the city. You're right if he would have did that with governor. But
Delgado, you're going to head up, of course, obviously, Space Force.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm there. I'll take care of the chemtrails. You watch.
Rick Delgado, take me to your leader. I need a glass of water.
I'll sound like the blues on a Tuesday. Sound like the blues on a Tuesday. You think your country has a reliable power grid? Well, we don't. It wasn't built to last. When the next outage strikes, plug in the Grid Doctor 300 from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply has helped millions of Americans prepare for emergencies just like this. Power loss, well, that's emergency. Our failing grid means more are coming. Power losses, that would be. And we've seen the signs over the past few years. Get the Grid Doctor 300 right now at mypatriotsupply.com. This generator lasts longer and runs stronger than almost all others. Connect 2 solar panels at once and harness up to 200 watts of charging power right from the sun. Use it while it charges. It charges ultra fast as well. Multiple ports mean no devices left behind. Run phones, fans, CPAP machines, and even mini refrigerators. Take $50 off today, your Grid Doctor 300 at mypatriotsupply.com. Mypatriotsupply.com includes fast, free shipping. MyPatriotSupply.com or preparewithrav.com as well. Preparewithrav.com, MyPatriotSupply.com. Go get your Grid Doctor 300. So when the grid goes down, you don't have to worry about where you're going to get your power from. Well, we've recently had some monumental news that no one's talking about. For the first time in history, the interest we pay on the national debt surpassed every individual budget item except Social Security. That's right. The U.S. now spends more on interest than on national defense or even Medicare. And it's only getting worse as big government continues to spend like drunken sailors. That's why savvy investors, central banks, and concerned savers are now turning to gold, something not tied to the inflated U.S. dollar. You, too, can help yourself with the help of Birch Gold. For over 20 years, Birch Gold Group has helped thousands of Americans protect their savings by converting an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. To learn more, text America to 989898. Claim your free, no-obligation information kit on gold. Birch Gold has earned trust with their education-first approach. And, of course, thousands of happy customers and their countless 5-star reviews. Check them out today. Text America to 989898 right now, and our friends from Birch Gold to get you, like I said, a no-obligation information kit on gold. See if it's right for you. Got to protect that savings against an inflated dollar, and we're going to find out tomorrow what CPI is. Tomorrow's a big day in the markets. Big day in the markets. We'll see where CPI comes in. We're also going to hear from the Fed later in the afternoon. So you get CPI at 8:30. You get the Fed at 2, the decision, and then you get remarks from the Fed at 2:30. Oh, man, look out. So text America to 989898.
Damon, Miss Goose pointed out, I think she's on YouTube Live. I lost the post. But don't forget about Kash Patel, who was Trump's
Kash
staffer
Patel.
for the NSC.
We love Kash.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Chief of Staff for the Secretary of Defense and ran
Many
20
good
intelligence.
people.
And
Many
also
good people.
Mike Davis for AG.
And I saw people mentioning Mike Benz in the chat as well.
Mike Davis. I personally like Brett Tolman a lot for AG as well.
Yeah, a lot of great candidates.
We have a lot of great people. A lot of great people.
Michael Curtis checking in. Believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Our pal, friend of the show, Michael Curtis. He likes Ron DeSantis, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and Ben Carson for VP.
Okay, very good. There you go.
Yep.
So
A lot of good choices out there. All right, let's do some sports and news. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, let's get back to the scoreboard. Big D, Major League Baseball in action tonight. Nationals and Tigers tied at 4, top of the 10th. Extra innings in Detroit. The Cubs right now over the Rays 2-1, bottom of the 9th. End of 7. The Guardians right now continue to lead the Reds, but now 3-2. Reds cut it to 1. Marlins over the Mets 3-2, bottom 7. Top of the 9th. Phillies over the Red Sox up in Fenway 4-1. The Rockies blanking the Twins in Minnesota, top of the 7th. Bottom 7, no score. Pirates and Cardinals, good pitches duel there. Yankees blanking the Royals 6-0. That's pretty much the best versus the worst tonight, right? Bottom of the 5th. The Blue Jays 1-0 over the Brewers, top of the 4th, and the Orioles have beaten the Braves 4-0 in Baltimore. That just went final a little while ago. Angels, Diamondbacks 9:40. White Sox at the Mariners 9:40. Athletics and Padres 9:40. 9:45. The Astros visit the Giants. Texas Rangers take on the LA Dodgers. That's a 10-10 first pitch later tonight. And, Joey Chestnut, he's already responded to this suspension. I got it right here. Or, a ban, I guess you could say. Joey Chestnut breaks silence after learning he cannot compete in 2024 hot dog eating contest. I talked about this at the top of my first sports report. Joey Chestnut is currently barred from competing after signing a brand deal with a Nathan's rival. And, instead of getting into all of it, let's get right to what Chestnut said. Chestnut said on X, formerly Twitter, that he learned he was banned from the event through social media. I was gutted, no pun intended, to learn from the media that after 19 years, I'm banned from the Nathan's July 4th hot dog eating contest. Chestnut wrote, I love competing in that event. I love celebrating America with my fans all over this great country on the 4th, and I have been training to defend my title. To set the record straight, I do not have a contract with MLE or Nathan's, and they are looking to change the rules from past years as it relates to other partners I can work with. This is apparently the basis on which I'm being banned, and it doesn't impact the July 4th event. Sadly, this is a decision Nathan's and Major League Eating are making, and it will deprive the great fans of the holiday's usual joy and entertainment. To my fans, I love you and appreciate you. Rest assured that you'll see me eat again soon. Stay hungry. Although Chestnut is best known for the performance with the Wieners, his website says that he travels 200 days out of the year competing. Thus, he has numerous other records. So, like I said, he should just get on, one of these other, either anything, Netflix or YouTube, and just have his own, time it with, exactly up with Nathan's, and watch him kick their butts, or kick their wieners, I should say. And he's something else, Joey Chestnut. It sounds like a real joke, but somebody said to me that the CCP owns the Nathan's hot dogs now.
Really?
So, yeah, that's what I heard. Somebody in the chat.
They own Smithfield Ham.
I don't know if that's fake news, but probably not. Knowing our group, they're usually pretty much right on it. So if that's the case, who knows what's going on? They may be rolling out one of their own to win this. You know how it is, all this propaganda that we deal with all the time. So really, it's just a terrible story. But Joey Chestnut responded.
Yeah. Before Joey Chestnut came along, who was the champion 6 times in a row? I think it was Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, right?
Kobayashi.
Yeah, he was something else.
Actually, Juan Long owns Nathan's.
Juan Long,
Chinese billionaire.
Well, there you go. So they
$24 billion in annual sales.
Does he know
annual sales?
Does he know
doesn't
Hung
know.
Cow?
No.
Captain Hung Cow.
Captain Hung Cow.
All right, let's keep it clean, guys. Here we go. Hey, Aaron, you better listen up here. Jets Aaron Rodgers skips mandatory minicamp. Absence considered. Unexcused. Rodgers could be fined as a result of missing mandatory minicamp there by Chance Martin of Fox Sports. The New York Jets entered the 2023 season with high hopes to impart to quarterback Aaron Rodgers' arrival, but the 4-time MVP suffered a season-ending injury in the season opener. Rodgers is on track to enter the season at full strength, but he will not participate in the team's mandatory minicamp this week. Jets head coach Robert Saleh told reporters on Tuesday that although Rodgers' absence will be considered unexcused, the quarterback previously told the team that there's a conflict in his schedule. Hey, he's got to get his priorities straight. We're conflicting your schedule. What is he going out on the RFK tour again? Anyway, that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick. All right, Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Speaking of RFK, believe it or not, there is a story that came out today. 2 New York residents backed by the DNC. Guess what they're trying to do? Well, they're trying to keep Robert F. Kennedy off the ballot in New York, believe it or not.
Wow.
They're trying to keep the independent presidential candidate off the November ballot in the state of New York, accusing his campaign of submitting invalid petition signatures and engaging in fraudulent activities to collect them. The lawsuit was filed last Thursday in the New York Supreme Court in Nassau County. The 2 plaintiffs, Elaine Portundo Smith and Adriana Wyatt, claimed that about 115,000 of the 146,000 signatures submitted last month by Kennedy's We the People signature collecting program are invalid, putting Kennedy well below the 45,000 signature threshold required to make it in New York. They argue that some of the signatures lack dates, blah, blah, blah. What a surprise that the DNC is once again trying to deny people's right to vote. You can't make it up. So there you have it. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be on the ballot. But this is just another tactic by the DNC because they know they're getting their butts kicked. Right, David?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, we'll come back. We'll do some more. We'll do some more show for you. Damon will be back from. I don't know what he's doing. All right,
he's blowing his socks.
He's blowing his socks. He'll be back live from Studio 6B. Stay there.
This season pretty crazy, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Young dude.
And really, Soto's a kid. He's only 25, right?
Young, yeah. And he's hitting 317 right now. It's unbelievable.
Uh-oh, here comes the Jets fan.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
Hey, Aaron, he's got one job.
Yeah, I got a schedule conflict.
Be quarterback.
Yeah, okay, but he said he cleared it with Saleh a long time ago.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's more of a concern that Hassan Reddick hasn't showed up to any of the involuntary practices, and now he's missing minicamp because he wants to restructure his contract.
There you go.
Really?
That's
Yes.
good negotiation.
I don't know who he is.
He's coming from the Eagles.
Neither do Jet fans.
Neither do Jets.
Do you guys want to watch that video?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
1 minute of the replication theory.
Oh, my God. You
Oh,
still
my
want us to
goodness,
watch
David.
this goddamn
Wait,
video?
hold on.
Oh,
Stop.
It's 1 minute.
I don't care. I don't care. He farted. Who cares? Stop trying to sell me on the fart.
No, he
video.
really didn't.
I don't
though.
want to watch the fart video.
Yeah, he had
You
vegan
can't make me
wieners
watch
before
it.
he came on the show.
I'm not watching your stupid fart video.
You can never.
Bok choy.
You can never replicate the sound you made.
I can.
He had a bok choy fart.
I can do it pretty consistently. Just
Fart
ask
bok choy.
anybody I live with.
One hung low.
Yeah. We have too many things open.
Yeah, cow.
Yeah.
I got like 5 platforms open at once here.
How do you walk around with the name Cow Hung?
Hung cow.
Hung cow, whatever. It's even worse. That's even worse.
Is that a chicken dish? That's Kung Pao.
That's the number 7, isn't it?
That's Kung Pao. That's peanuts in
Does
it.
that come with the fried rice or no?
You want extra noodles with that? Duck sauce, soy sauce. Be nice here.
Believe me, it comes with
Come
sauce.
on.
Come on.
What's going on here?
Come on, it comes with sauce.
I walk away to stretch my back and make a hot chocolate. And look what happened.
My God.
The whole thing falls apart.
The whole show went to MSG. No MSG.
See, now I want spring rolls. Yeah, now I'm hungry for spring rolls.
You Rick, you didn't do the Russell Brand latest story, did you? Okay. Breitbart.
What are we doing here?
We're doing show.
We got.
Did you do news?
This is 7.
No, we didn't do any news.
Yeah,
So we'll do news.
Because you did 18 reads and then Slick got some
I did 2 reads.
85 scores.
Yeah, Slick that takes up all the time.
Why? Come on. I haven't been on the show
Shut
in a
up
year.
about sports.
I know. Well,
30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. On a Tuesday night, June 11th, glad you're in. Slick's doing sports, or I guess just did sports. Delgado's now going to do the news, and David Zier's going to do some news as well.
I'll do it.
Aaron and Fran, thank you. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Harry on the highway, I guess, was here for like 5 minutes and decided to leave without coming in and saying hello to any of us. So,
does he owe you money?
There you go.
That was at like 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, okay. I thought it was during the show.
I overheard him, yeah.
He said he was coming in around 9 o'clock, so that's why I was...
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay, no. All right, let's do the news. News is brought to you by 7 Cells, 7cells.com. Great stuff for your health, for your skin, for your weight loss, for your sex life, whatever. They got all kinds of good stuff there. They've really revamped the site. They're focused on new packaging. Looks great. Good stuff over at 7 Cells. LFS6B is the code, 10% off. What's going on, Rick Delgado?
All right. Well, speaking of some campaign stuff, I don't know if you caught I guess I did do one quick news story. RFK, New York. They're trying to keep him off the ballot in New York.
They're trying to keep him out of the debates, too.
Yeah. Well, they've so far they've done that. But no, they're actually trying to do what they tried to do to Trump and get him off the ballot in the state of New York. I guess they figure the Kennedy name might be a big thing in New York that might hold some weight for politics.
Yeah.
So they're a little afraid of that and what that could mean to the overall numbers when it comes down to count those electoral college votes.
I mean, listen, if I'm either campaign, I don't want him in the debates either, because the one issue that neither one of them, Biden or Trump, is going to stand up well on is the vaccines. And he's going to wallop them on them.
Yeah, but that's one thing.
They're going to defend how great they are.
That's one thing.
I wouldn't want them there either.
So, anyhow, jumping over to some...
it's not one thing. It's the issue of our time.
It's one thing, though, in the grand scheme. Inevitably, they talk about the economy, which is now affecting you every single day of your life. Plus, they talk about the border. And I think
Bobby Kennedy was a senator. Bobby Kennedy was a senator from New York.
Trust me, if Kennedy finds his way up there, the people asking the questions will be talking about what's going to happen in the next shutdown, what's going to happen with the vaccines, what's going to happen with mRNA when they want to start putting it in all the other things they want to shoot you and your kids with. They'll make it more than one thing. Don't you worry.
Yeah, but you don't think the
and they should, by the way.
The debate hosts would try to control that and close that down because, Pfizer spends a lot of money on those networks.
Yeah.
So
isn't the Kennedy campaign suing about the debate to get on the stage?
Yeah, he's trying to get on. We'll see what happens. Down south, it's talking about debates. I don't know if you caught this. Georgia Republican, who was actually convicted in the January 6th riots, walks out during a televised congressional primary debate. Did you hear about this one?
No.
This guy is a great. They call him a J6 rioter. I call him a riot. His name is. What do you call it? His name is Chuck Hand. He's the latest in the who's running for second congressional district down in Southwest Georgia, where he's taking on Wayne Johnson and competing for the GOP nomination to take on 16-term Democratic incumbent Representative Sanford Bishop in November. Hand is one of at least 4 people convicted of January 6 crimes running for Congress this year. All are Republicans. He was sentenced to 20 days in prison and has 6-month probation. I guess it's already up. At the beginning of the debate by the Atlanta Press Club, Hand said he was refusing to debate Johnson after Michael Nixon, who finished 3rd in the 4-way primary, gave a news conference last month endorsing Johnson. Here's what happened when he did decide to talk, and this is about the length of his time at the debate. This is cut number 12. Check this out.
Jill Nolan, please ask your question to Chuck Hand.
Hi, Mr. Hand. Congress is currently working on a new farm bill, which will have a big impact on the 2nd District. What are your thoughts on the current House Republican plan? And specifically, would you support the controversial proposal to cut food aid for low-income Americans?
I'm Chuck Hand, lifelong resident of the 2nd District. I've worked side by side with the people of the 2nd District, solving problems since 2018. I've only seen this man next to me come around when it's election time, wanting to run for office. I've been wearing tires slam out in Southwest Georgia, meeting with voters and building relationships in our communities for years now. I'm not interested in debating the issues of the 2nd District with a man who doesn't even reside in it. especially one who orchestrates attacks on my wife. I'm more concerned about beating Sanford Bishop, representing you, and passing the America First agenda and putting Donald Trump back in the White House. This race is very simple. It's either 8th District money or 2nd District heart. The choice is yours. It's the dollar versus the change. Now, this is where I get back in my truck and head back to Southwest Georgia because I got two races to win.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Doug Reardon, you're not staying, sir? Are you leaving? Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, mic drop.
There you go. Talk about.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Can I go vote for him? And what do I have to do to vote for him?
I don't know.
That's who you want representing you.
That guy wins.
That man.
That guy wins. That guy has to win.
Got it.
What's his name?
That is Chuck Hand.
Okay, we got to get him on the show.
Talk to the hand, right?
We've got to get him on the. We have to get him on the show.
He's great.
What district is it?
Southwest Georgia, the 2nd Congressional District.
All right, Zero, we got to work on that. Let's get him on.
Love it.
Harry, get on it.
Love it. Got the cat hat on.
He has to win.
That's working men.
I think I'm more interested in that race now than the presidential race. I think he has to win.
Come on, big D.
Yeah, it's a Democrat district represented by Sanford Bishop right now. So,
and I think 6 terms, he said. So the guy's been there for a little bit.
And he doesn't even live in the district, apparently, is what Mr. Hand said.
He was talking about the guy who was supposed
who was that
to
Who was that stiff?
That was Wayne Johnson.
Wayne Johnson. What's his deal?
I don't know, but
how the heck?
I guess he didn't have much to say because nobody bothered to show any clips from him. So Chuck Hand won that debate, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah, there's a lot of T-shirts coming out of this guy. A lot of slogans there for his campaign.
Talk to the hand, right? Yeah.
And some other news, I guess not really having to do with campaigns, unless you're campaigning for intergalactic supremacy. Now stick with me on this. This one coming from futurism.com.
Stick with them.
And Fran, in a new paper that's bound to raise eyebrows in the scientific community, a team of researchers from Harvard, you've heard of Harvard, right? And the Montana Technical University speculates that sightings of unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UFOs basically, bureaucracy speak for UFOs, may reflect activities of intelligent beings being concealed stealthily here on Earth and or near its environs, the moon, and or even walking around among us, passing off as humans, Damon. Yes, that's a direct quote from the paper. Needless to say, the researchers admit this idea of hidden cryptoterrestrials is a highly exotic hypothesis that's likely to be regarded skeptically by most scientists. Nonetheless, they argue, the theory deserves genuine consideration in the spirit of I can't read this word, humility and openness. The interest in unexplained sightings of UFOs by military personnel has grown considerably over the past decade, and the attention grew to a peak last summer. As you remember, Air Force intelligence officer and whistleblower David Grush testified in front of Congress, claiming the U.S. had already recovered alien spacecraft as part of a decades-long UFO retrieval program. Even NASA has opened its doors to researchers to explore the mysterious high-speed objects that have been spotted by military pilots over the years. Mm-hmm. So what do you think of that? They could be walking among us. Chances are they're probably...
They could be doing the news on your show.
Anything else in news today?
I saw them in Walmart this morning.
Did you really?
Oh man, they could be walking them. Well, what do you, Delgado? Don't ask us because
checked out all right.
The researchers didn't stop there, even suggesting that these cryptoterrestrials may take on a different non-human primate or even reptilian form. Beyond residing deep underground, they even speculate that this mysterious species could even be concealing themselves on the moon or have mastered the art of blending in as human beings. A folk theory that has inspired countless works of science fiction. Now, I don't know if you've heard about
fiction. You got the right
I don't know if you've ever heard about or seen any of the work done about what's underneath the Denver airport.
Oh,
heard about some of those stories? Have you?
That story's a little rocky, but yeah.
I'm going to stab you with my pen.
No, Delgado, would you like to inform us of what's underneath the Denver airport?
Supposedly, and you can look this up for yourself online. There's plenty of stuff written about it. And there's actually been testimony of people that people were working and got into a firefight with some of these aliens underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Was Will Smith one of them?
Will Smith was not one of them, from what I understand.
All right.
There's also theories about what's going on in Antarctica. Why we're not allowed to fly over or see certain parts of it. What's going on down there?
Mm-hmm.
A treaty that has been in force since 1959, I believe. And no one's ever, and everybody just signs right up to it and says, yeah, we're all on board. No one's allowed over certain parts of Antarctica. You're not allowed to fly over. If you try and Google map it and try to bring it up on Google Earth, it is blocked out.
Wow.
Interesting stuff. I don't know. I'm just saying it kind of falls into what this article that Fran shared with me. So I just thought maybe you should.
It's all aligning now.
Just a little something for you guys to think about.
Yeah. Yes. And as Drag Blacker says in the chat, everyone mocks Delgado because he's way ahead of them.
Way ahead.
Yes.
Light years.
Intellectually on the topic of space and technology, which is why I say Space Force is you are
That's
an
your
absolute shoo-in.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolute shoo-in for that. Zier will talk to the campaign about that. So.
Area 54, where are you?
I want to head up Black Projects. It's Area 51.
All right, very good. Delgado will do some more news tomorrow. Let's do a little news now, and then we'll do some more with David Zia. Mr. Zia is the host of Breaking Point 8 a.m. What's going on?
I reached out to Chuck Hand through his campaign just now on X, and I went on his campaign page and signed up, so maybe we can get in touch with him that way.
Okay, good.
And I reached out to Donna Fiducia and Don Newen in Georgia, because they might know him.
Okay.
Because they're big with the J6ers, and they share J6 people with me for my show. So maybe he'll respond. We'll see. There's a lot going on. Just one quick story here that we have. Rick, OpenAI whistleblower, warns of 70% chance AI could destroy humanity. Former AI open government governance researcher made a chilling prediction. Daniel Kokotajlo, a former AI governance researcher, signed an open letter that employees are being silenced about safety issues due to the monumental risk posed by artificial general intelligence out there. So that's something to pay attention to. Go to Breitbart for the rest of that story here.
Apple announced, right, David, that AI is coming to the new phones?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And,
didn't Elon Musk say it's a deal breaker? He's not going to.
Musk did not seem happy with Apple's.
I saw that. I don't know all the details behind it though, but I did see Musk's comments. And but Kokotajlo's most alarming claim was that chance of AI wrecking humanity is around 70%, and just completely unacceptable. And we're hurtling and barreling ahead with the research anyway. But I got more stories for you when we come back.
All right, those are coming up right when we get back. Delgado, Dave on the chat on X says,
yes,
Tupac and Biggie are also buried under the Denver airport. So. Don't forget that.
Harry goes to Denver a lot, doesn't he?
He does. Oh, that explains a lot.
He does. Good point.
Oh, man. I think that's one of my favorite things now on the shows when we do one of those. Just because I can look at Slick and just...
Oh, that is funny.
It always leads to the
And some people get upset when it's like, oh, well, you know,
I know.
this is good news. I mean, this is legit. He's got legit
they think
stuff
we're legitimately upset. Like, they just don't get it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's one of my favorite things when you do one of those stories.
Yeah, look at this one part. This is the replication
The chat never
theory.
disappoints.
No.
Watch.
Is this the same thing you're
still... Are you still trying to force this fart video? No,
listen.
I'm not watching your fart video. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to talk over it because I refuse to bow down to your nonsense of trying
can't
to
replicate it.
Force a fart video that nobody cares
What
about.
airline was that? JetBlue?
So they knocked him out.
Big D, was that JetBlue?
Huh?
JetBlue, right? Is that the airline he's on? He cut the fart.
Oh. Hey, how about
you know what airline it was? Delta.
How about JetBlue coming to
Whoever
MacArthur?
smelled it, Delta.
Easy to get for us to get to Florida now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those.
Yeah,
How
about Frontier Airlines?
Can't wait for those.
At least I'd rather take JetBlue than Frontier. That I don't even know if the wings are actually on the plane.
Any day of the week. Any day.
American Gas Lines. Yeah.
Frontier is like flying Kazakhstan Airways.
That is, man. Hold on to your play school toy chair.
White House Molly, formerly Maricopa Molly, says not only that, the lizard shapeshifters too. We've learned.
I'm sorry?
Part of that story was the reptilians. They could be lizard shapeshifters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it could be.
Yeah. Bet you didn't know that.
Sharon says, Delgado, you'll report on UFOs but not watch a fart video. I'm glad you have principles. See, this is why I love when you do
He's
these.
got his standards.
This is what it leads to.
He's got his
people out there getting upset. Oh, they're Rick's so intellectual. No, we're just looking for the humor of it all. Don't you understand yet?
Yeah.
What you're watching?
No, they don't.
So I can't use Facebook.
Come on.
But if you can find Chuck Hand for Georgia on Facebook, if you want to try to message
I just
him.
followed him on Twitter, so I'm going to try to message him through there.
Ask him, Delgado. We're at the break.
He doesn't take DMs in X, with direct messaging.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. He's only got like 400 followers. Why would you not take
I don't know.
DMs?
It's grayed out, but I did respond to a couple of the.
All right, we'll figure out a way.
I'll contact him using the link from this clip.
From the replication theory?
Yeah.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's go back to the host of Breaking Point, 8 a.m. right here on Real America's Voice each and every Saturday morning. And that, of course, is David Zier. Mr. Zier, what else is going on?
Hey, this is from the other day, but I wanted to make sure I talked about this. British actor Russell Brand, who's really come around over the years, says Americans who are concerned about freedom and democracy should vote for former President Donald Trump in November. Breitbart is reporting. In a straight choice between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, if you care about democracy, if you care about freedom, I don't know how you could do anything other than vote for Donald Trump for precisely the reasons that they claim that you cannot. He said in the latest episode of his podcast, I thought that was interesting. Then he said that they act as if a vote for Donald Trump is almost like you're directly voting for Armageddon, like you see hysterical performances outside of courtrooms, endless MSNBC bombast. Brandstead said, but he's also went on, but I'm starting to think that no, a greater threat to democracy is this kind of technological feudalism that tells you that it cares about you and that it's protecting vulnerable people, all while increasing censorship, increasing the funding of wars, increasing the division between ordinary Americans. Pretty wise words.
That guy's really smart. And he's going, did you see he's going on tour with Tucker?
Is he?
He's going on tour with Tucker, right? Through the middle of the summer. Oh, I don't know if it's middle of the summer they start, or maybe it's not till like later in the year, but right through election, they're going on tour.
I give kudos to anybody who's an independent voice, who's in the entertainment business. Not easy to pull off. And then there's this incredible story in the New York Post today. Rescued Israeli hostages were starved, beaten almost every day in Hamas captivity and beyond comprehension. And I talk about this on with Dr. Ehrenfeld on Breaking Point on Saturday morning. The 4 Israeli hostages rescued during the daring military operation over the weekend were starved and beaten almost every day by Hamas terrorists during their 8 months in captivity. Their doctor has revealed it was a harsh experience with a lot of abuse almost every day. Dr. Pesach, who has been treating the freed hostages at the hospital in central Israel, said. This is these people were treated like animals by Hamas because they don't respect human life, and hiding them amongst civilians. Then you wonder why there's casualties right on the ground. I just wanted to get to a couple of quick clips for you right here. Radio Genoa is showing this France attack, cut number 9. This is what's going on in France, in the streets, and it looks like a combination of Antifa types and others were breaking into this store.
How tough are you that you need an umbrella because it's raining out and you don't want to get wet?
Burning down Paris.
They work for the Penguin.
Oh, my goodness. What a bunch of pansies.
Yeah, this was Islamist and Antifa storming a bar because the owner is a French patriot who votes to the right. They're wreaking havoc everywhere, says Radio Genoa. France is a few steps away from civil war, something to that effect.
Wow.
I also wanted to play for you. I have another video here, which is pretty disturbing here. Cut number 4 from New York City. I wish Hitler was here. Anti-Semitism. Hate crimes up 39% in the month of April in New York City. Anti-Semitism on the rise in NYC. Cut number 4.
You have nothing better to do. I wish Hitler was still here. Oh, how freaking knows that? I wish Hitler was still here.
I wish Hitler was still here.
I'm saying it was something. It was. You're not working. I mean, right?
Yeah, this is what's going on out there. And also the Atlanta prosecutor who was jailed, I have this, she was claiming that in a previous video on X that she would never steal any money. I want to go to that cut right here and I'll explain it. That is cut number 6, Atlanta prosecutor jailed for stealing $15 million in COVID funds.
I choose integrity and whatever else it brings. I don't choose selling your soul to the devil.
What part makes it selling your soul?
Because that means I'm willing to do anything, belittle myself and degrade myself for the love of what? Of $1. I'm not going to do it. My integrity, what my kids and how my kids respect me and view me means more to me than me earning a quick dollar, portraying to be something that I'm not. Or it may, they very well may be that way. That might be true. What she's singing about may have just happened. I don't know. I'm not there to judge. I don't care. But I'm not willing to put that thought out there.
Another corrupt Atlanta prosecutor jailed for 7 years for stealing $15 million in COVID funds and COVID money.
That's her?
That's what they're saying.
Wow.
That's what they're saying. That is Shalitha Robertson.
Wow.
She's a prosecutor?
That's what they're saying. That's according to Colin Rugg on X, who's a pretty, notable figure on X, has a lot of followers. Sheila, who said she would never degrade herself for $1, D-O-L-L-A, used the PPP money to buy a Rolls Royce, a 10-carat diamond ring, and a motorbike, among other things, submitting false loan applications saying she needed the money for her 4 businesses. So I want to follow up, see if she had a relationship with Fannie or not.
Is she the actual prosecutor, or is she just somebody the prosecutor's going after?
No, Atlanta prosecutor who is shown on the podcast, Shalitha Robinson. I'll give you her position right now.
All right, well, we got to get to sports, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, she donated money to Fannie Willis in the Democratic primary election as well, but she's an ex-city attorney. Fulton County.
Let's do some sports before we wrap it up. Slick, what's going on?
All right, one story I want to get to. New Jersey reviewing Trump golf course's liquor license after felony conviction. 3 properties in the state are implicated in the review of Trump's eligibility to hold the liquor licenses. You would believe this. Timothy Nerozzi of Fox News. The New Jersey Attorney General's Division of Alcoholic Beverage Control is reviewing the liquor licenses at properties owned by former President Donald Trump. The Alcoholic Beverage Control Division, ABC, is considering whether Trump's recent felony conviction violates a clause in the state law that restricts licenses based on criminal history. ABC is reviewing the impact of President Trump's conviction on the above referenced licenses and declines further comment at this time, the Attorney General Matthew Platkin's office told Fox News Digital on Tuesday. According to New Jersey state law, no licenses of any class shall be issued to any person under the age of 18 years or to any person who has been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude. Trump was convicted on 30. We know that nonsense. But so the liquor license is at the Trump National Golf Club, Colts Neck Trump National Golf Club, Pine Hill, and the Lamington Farm Club are all implicated in the review. So we'll keep you posted on that, see what happens. I'm sure they could just transfer the name, but really just craziness. Liquor Authority going after them like that. So what can I tell you? And if I have time, I got a quick rodeo. Come on, Big D. Woodward Oaks Rodeo. Just give you a couple of ones. All Around Cowboy. This actually is in Oklahoma. Woodward, Oklahoma. The Crystal Beach Arena. $158,000 plus purse. And All Around Cowboy was Jake Clay. $36.55 for team roping and steer wrestling. Bareback. Good old Rock Steiner. 89 points on Butler and Son Rodeos. Unleashed. Team roping. Jake Clay and Trey Yates. 4.6 seconds. They're a good combo. Saddle Bronc King Justin's 86 points on Butler and Sons Rodeos. Mega Millions. I didn't hit that last night. Too bad. And last but not least, Barry Arrow Racing. The great Stevie Hillman. 17.8 seconds. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you to close it out.
All right, Slick. Very good. Yeah, I guess that's it. Anything else that's in the news, Delgado, that we didn't touch on?
Just the big stories, Hunter Biden, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Because everybody's already talked about it.
Yeah. All right. As always, we salute our military, active and inactive police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us, all our truckers, all our farmers, everybody that keeps the country moving. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, friend, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night. David Zier, enjoy your son's wedding. Congratulations to you and your fam. Have a great trip.
Thank you so much.
Tell everybody at Woody's we said hi, and the rest of you will see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m., right here live from Studio 6B.